Okay. I apologize. So, to actually experience the hormone influx and being sensitive already, I can tell you, as a sensitive and dealing with crazy hormones in a pregnancy and stress from pregnancy, my sensitivity went through the roof.
Well, then you have, postpartum depression. You've got a whole lot of hormonal problems.
Well, just the fact that I was pregnant and sensitive already. I mean, I was getting hit left and right with emotions that I was picking up on. I would be fine a second and, yeah, I'm pregnant, I'm emotional, but there was more to it because I was already sensitive, and I felt like I was going nuts until I understood that your sensitivity, your ability path could be heightened by the influx of hormones, and I found that very interesting.
Right.
So,
well, yeah, and, I forget about that side because when you're dealing with a woman that's pregnant as well as has abilities like a psychic, a medium, an astral potential. Speaking of which, for any listeners that would like to learn astral, we do have an astral school starting on the 10th in 4 days. So if you want to learn astral basics, jump into the FMP group and get a hold of a Richard Benak, and he'll get you an application. We also, along with the team, since we're talking about the team, we have extended care. Now, extended care is the team that will come in behind the astral once the situation's been relieved, taken care of. The extended care team will come in and they'll teach grounding and shielding. They'll basically teach the client how to take their home back, how to keep themselves safe. And that keeps us from having to come back quite often. There's no time limit on that because it all depends on how long it takes the client to grasp what we're teaching them. Along with the astral team, the extended care team, we do have a Francie. She is our psychiatric counselor. She's a licensed therapist. She helps us with the psychiatric issues because when you're talking about, and that's a whole other show as well. We're just covering the basics tonight, and we'll get into a whole lot deeper stuff the more you listen to S-4. But there's a lot of parallels between psychiatric conditions and the paranormal. They work hand in hand quite often, and you have to kind of weed through the signs and symptoms and figure out whether it's psychiatric or it's paranormal or it's a combination of both. And that's why we have a licensed therapist on the team.
Let's throw out a shout-out to Francie, too. She was supposed to be on the show tonight, and she is unfortunately, her area where she lives is going through a storm right now, and she was unable to be with us. So
exactly.
Stay safe.
Probably the same storm that we're waiting for to come here. It's been a bad winter. And not even for snow. But actually, the snow is supposed to be coming on Monday. Oh, joy.
Is that right?
I do have to say, it was awesome Christmas morning when I looked out the window as we were opening presents, and it started snowing.
It didn't
stick.
That was
beautiful.
I know it,
That's
but
okay.
It didn't stick. All I was thinking is, oh, God, we just got our power back. Don't stick. Because, it's one thing to have no power for 4 days, and it's in the 40s. It's another to, have snow on the ground, and it's 20s to 30s, and you still have no power. Yeah.
Just for a reminder for everyone tomorrow night, or listening tonight, that's also for our next show next week is winter preparation.
Yeah, and that's why we moved it. Because actually, next week was supposed to be about Project Blue Book, but we've moved it so we can actually talk winter prep for next week because of the fact that we're losing power. We're getting hit pretty hard with heavy wind, heavy rain, things of that nature. So moving on.
Speaking of which, maybe we should give that Project Blue Book premiere a plug. It's coming up January 8th. So if people are out there wanting to see the brand new dramatic television series on the History Channel called Project Blue Book about the military's actual top secret investigation of UFOs from 1952 to 1969. They ought to tune into the History Channel. 10 p.m., I understand. And I'm not exactly sure if that's Pacific time or not, so I would double-check your listing.
Central. Okay, so 8 o'clock our time?
It could be 8 o'clock, but I would definitely check the History Channel listings to make sure you don't miss it, because I think it's going to be an hour or 45 minutes for the first episode of Project Blue Book on January 8th.
Oh, I'm ready. My popcorn and Pop is sitting right beside my chair waiting.
And, so I'm going to switch things up again because actually January 19th is supposed to be a roundtable. So January 19th, we're going to talk about Project Blue Book for the entire show. And what I want to happen is I gave Megan some homework tonight, too, and we're all going to do the same homework. Because what I want to do is compare the historical records of Project Blue Book that we know are documented and compare it to the TV show and see how accurate and see how factual that TV show really is. Because what intrigued me is how they have J. Allen Hynek in there. And, J. Allen Hynek was a CIA director back then that was actually put in charge of Project Blue Book. And that's documented. So if they actually have him portrayed in this TV show, I want to see what other facts they actually have in there. I'm curious.
Yeah, that's a good point. There is some dramatic license I know that they took on the initial sneak preview that we saw down in Seattle at the AMC movie theater. The UFOI team was involved with that promotion, but the basic stories are pretty much right on as far as the actual reports go. But of course, they got to get into the details of what people were thinking at the time and the various character development that they're doing. So it will be interesting to see how they're going to treat Dr. J. Allen Hynek's character in the long run, in this series.
I'm curious. Are they going to portray him as a bad guy? Or are they going to portray him as just an idiot that was skeptical the whole time? Or how are they going to portray him? And again, how accurate are they going to be? I mean, obviously, we weren't around back then. We didn't see it. I was born in '69. Wouldn't have been, around long enough to even know what Project Blue Book was. I didn't get into UFOs until '94. So I am curious how documentation is. Documentation is everything. If we can find documentation showing the actual Blue Book, I do have some on the computer. And then compare notes, and see how accurate the TV show is. And that's another S-4 episode we'll be doing later on in the year's media portrayal of the paranormal. And, you look at a lot of the alien movies and whatnot, and where do they get the races portrayed in the movies? Is there fact to them? Yes, there is, to several of them. Predator, for example, is an actual race. The races they used in Independence Day is an actual race. So, I mean, that's a whole a whole S4 episode we'll be talking about.
So, actually, I want to interrupt for 1 second, because when we first started and we were talking about is Bigfoot interdimensional, I was sitting here going, was he Chewbacca? Like, was Sasquatch supposed to be Chewbacca? Like, is Chewie a Sasquatch? And I'm sitting there thinking and spacing out while you guys are having a very fluid conversation. I'm just sitting here going, is Chewie really a Sasquatch? Like, is Chewie Biggie?
Of course.
And I was thinking about that. And I was going to ask it, but I forgot because we weren't even talking about movies. So movie portrayal, are they trying to say that Sasquatch are some type of alien? Because, think about that for a second.
Well, there is a lot of correlation, and we've talked about we've talked about that on S4 too. But I got to point out, Chewbacca sits in the back of Michael's car.
Exactly.
Oh, the front right seat headrest is Chewbacca. I call him Chewy the Squatch, actually. If you ever saw my if you ever saw my Grant Cameron video where we were stuck in the car for hours on end in a blazing snowstorm up in BC, he was sitting right on Chewbacca's lap the whole time. It was kind of fun.
Think of who plays Chewy.
Who does?
Hold on, I'm trying to remember his name.
Nobody plays Chewy. Chewy is.
Okay.
Chewy just is. There we go.
Don't ruin it for me.
Well, no, but the guy, Peter, his name's Peter.
Peter Parker?
Trying to remember.
No, that's Spider-Man.
I know. I just watched that the other day, too.
I got something. Okay. So, who played
Peter, Mayhew. Peter Mayhew.
Yeah, okay.
He is 7'3". It is my belief that they didn't like the hair that he had on him, so they shaved him and made him put on the suit.
Well, they had to,
you know, 7'3". Like, come on! He didn't even need the step stools that stilts that everyone else uses when they put that thing on.
Yeah. Matter of fact, there's a great story too about Harry and the Hendersons. The guy who was in the suit for Harry and the Hendersons, his name was Kevin Hall. He's an actor, and he's 7'3" as well. The guy was just giant, and I don't know if you remember that film, but the facial expressions and the makeup that they did on that Sasquatch in Harry and the Hendersons was just awesome. I mean, he could do facial, different kinds of things that you normally don't see on like a Chewy figure, in those films too. So another guy is just, who knows? That was a fascinating subject.
Outstanding.
I don't like what he just put.
What?
Joe just put that the original Chewie might be dead.
It says on
really upset.
Well,
Wikipedia that he's still alive.
Well,
but he's 74.
It's Kevin Hall that passed away.
He's 74.
Okay.
Think about that for a second.
Fake news.
Okay, but think about that for a second. Did you guys notice that on January 2nd we lost 3 great actors? Well, not just actors, but 3 great entertainment personalities, and they were all 76.
Oh.
What kind of personalities did you just say, Cole?
Oh, entertainment personalities. So we lost Mean Gene from the World Wrestling Federation. He was the announcer.
Oh.
And he died at 76. We lost Super Dave Osborne.
Super Dave?
I don't know if you guys remember. Yeah, he passed away on January 2nd.
Oh, my gosh.
At 76. And the captain from Captain and Tennille.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Was 76.
Oh, my goodness. That is synchronicity. Oh, my gosh.
Ain't it? Okay, so we got to move along here. So
okay, hold on. One more thing.
Move along. What? So what we're doing in FMP2, which is part of our 2019 push, is trying to get a boots-on-ground team in every country. And right now we have India covered. We have a team in Australia. So if we have any listeners that have a paranormal team that wants to represent boots-on-ground investigative cases in your country and work with our Astral team at the same time, jump in FMP and we'll go ahead and vet you and get you an application and whatnot. Because it'd be kind of cool if we had a global reach and we could actually help people in every country, but not just Astral, but with an actual physical team that could, go to the client's home. Along with that is our stance on paranormal bullying. And so what I'm doing is working with the admins of about 90 different groups to get an alliance formed that if they have a bully in their team or in their group, they contact all the admins, and they get removed from all the groups. Kind of like a unified